Hi there, welcome back to the channel. My name is Christine. If you're new here, I have been traveling this fall and winter in my 2017 Subaru Forester, living full-time out of the vehicle and having fun adventures along the way. However, if you've been following along, you know that a big goal of mine while living out of the car has been to prepare for a thru hike.
Hi, I'm Christine. After starting life over in 2020, I'm using seasonal work to build financial security, experience new places, and most importantly, keep living life as a big adventure. Come along as I live like a local in desired destinations, spend time in nature hiking, backpacking, and living out of my car, and craft the trips of my dreams on a backpacker's budget.
The thru hike I've been preparing for is the Pacific Crest Trail. If you don't know what that is, allow me to quickly explain. The Pacific Crest Trail is a 2,650-mile continuous footpath that travels from the Mexico-California border through California, Oregon, and Washington up to the border of Canada. This trail takes approximately 5 to 6 months to complete. It is completed on foot while primarily backpacking, living out of a tent in wilderness areas, and occasionally supplemented by traveling through towns to reset and resupply. This has been a journey of mine that has been a dream for a better part of a decade, and I was hoping 2025 would be my year. Because this hike is popular and because it travels through some wilderness and federal land areas that require permits for overnight stays, there is an organization called the Pacific Crest Trail Association, otherwise known as the PCTA, that arranges for thru hikers, those intending to go from the beginning to the end of the trail, either in the northbound or southbound direction, or for those that are looking to do long sections of the trail. This organization is able to award thru hiking permits that gets you permits to go through all of these separate areas with one permit. So you don't have to go arrange all of the dates. I can't even imagine how complicated it would be to work with all these different administrations and their different processes to try to piece together a hike without a PCTA thru hiking permit. In late October, I tried to get a permit in the first round of permitting and I was not awarded a permit. January 8th recently rolled around and I thought surely this was the day that I would know whether or not I would be awarded a permit. So I logged in at the randomized time that the PCTA told me I could log in and try for a permit, and there were not any desirable dates available. However, I still decided to put in for the date that I thought would be most likely awarded and also was the most desirable. My time is 12:56:58. That is my randomized time. People today have been applying for permits since 10:30 a.m. Pacific time, so I just kind of have to see what's left. Start location and location. My heart is dying. What does this mean? Is there anything available? Okay, there are dates available, I think. Okay, don't freak out. I'm like panicking. Oh gosh, there are dates. I'm like literally shaking. Submit application. Improving permits soon after receiving them, but thousands of applications to process can take up to 3 weeks. Wait, I don't understand. Does this mean like 3 weeks I'll know for sure? I didn't know it had to be reviewed. Well, lo and behold, I did not find out with confirmation that day whether or not I would be awarded a permit. And in fact, I didn't find out whether or not my permit was approved until yesterday at 4:45 p.m. Now, my permit was approved. However, this is not a class of 2025 PCT thru hiking announcement video. I'm hoping to make that video for you for 2026.
I have been trying to make a decision about two really wonderful things, and I have been having the hardest time doing that, and it's really been causing me kind of some chaos and stress in my mind because from one minute to another, I just completely flipped the script on everything, but now I have an answer.
And hear me out as to why.
The thing is, the date that I was able to put in for is March 13th, which is a super early date for the PCT, and by the time I'm filming this is less than 2 months away. And yet I still don't know whether or not I'm actually being awarded this permit. And so there is gear that I need to buy and to test, and that costs money, but I can't do that yet because I don't know if the PCT is happening for me this year because I don't have confirmation yet. So that's part of it.
The date I was awarded is at least 1 month earlier than I would like to start. And my concerns with that primarily relate to weather and recent weather patterns in Southern California, where I would be starting my hike. To be quite frank, a March 13th start date sounds like starting in winter to me. And although it is known as the desert section, I have hiked many miles of that trail, including the first 100 miles consecutively. And I know very well you travel through multiple mountain ranges in that desert region, and mountains equal snow. And in March, it's very possible that snow could be falling. Now, I do have some mountaineering training. I do have knowledge on how to utilize tools effectively and that training. However, this leads us to the bigger issue, and it is my physical fitness. To be honest, I don't feel physically ready. And some people may argue that I may never feel physically ready, but that's not true because when I was ready to take on this hike in 2020, I did feel physically ready. And I knew that I could rely on mental toughness when at times the physical was getting a little too tough. I was needing to push a little bit harder, but the training was there, the base was there. And I am not there right now. Years ago, I got injured on a backpacking trip. I rolled one of my ankles and tore everything in my ankle. After that happened, I made myself a promise. I promised myself that the wilderness was not my training ground. It was my proving ground, but I needed to go in trained. And all of the mental toughness that I had was not the linchpin of my excursion. It was something that I could fall back on if needed, but it wasn't what was going to get me through. I was going to go in prepared because it's what's safe to do and it's what's fair to rescuers and hiking partners and the wilderness itself. So I know that this is not my year. It took me a lot of back and forth to come to this conclusion, and it was very, very hard for me to decide because it came with heartbreak. I just felt like things were lining up and this was going to be my year and I was going to make it happen. But honestly, I just didn't put enough work in. And that makes me sad and disappointed. But my best friend told me something. She said, take those feelings, let that motivate me for my training, putting in the effort, the work every single day. And that was a very powerful thing for her to say. Yeah, we're going to give it another year to get ready for the Pacific Crest Trail. Like I said, I did not come to this decision lightly. It kept me up many a night quite recently, tossing and turning. From 1 hour to the next, I had decided something differently. And then one at a time, I consulted my closest family and friends, and they all without hesitation said, "You should wait." And that's not them not believing in me, that's them looking out for me and looking out for me in a way that they know what I want this experience to be when my time comes, and that I haven't set myself up in the position for this experience to happen yet. Okay, but I have some news for you. If you've been enjoying the content I'm creating where I'm living out of the Subaru Forester and spending time in wilderness areas, sometimes in more urban or suburban areas, exploring all throughout the country, well, guess what? It's continuing. It is my goal to continue to try to make YouTube my full-time income source. It certainly does take up a number of hours for me to produce the content, and it is making me some money, but I'm still not hitting the thresholds that I want to be at consistently, quite frankly. So I'm not going to rule out the idea that I may have to pick up a seasonal job just to protect my assets and to be earning enough money that I can live comfortably day to day and put some away in savings because things happen. If I'm going to be living out of the vehicle full time and I'm going to be driving around putting a bunch of miles on it, inevitably I'm likely going to have to put more than just preventative maintenance into the vehicle. So we're going to try for that for as long as we can. And even if I do have to do seasonal work, I guess I'll do my best to stay up with you in creating content. But right now, I'm going to hold on for as long as I can and just try to be out here making this content for you. It is still my plan to head east. From there, I really don't know. Feel free to leave some suggestions for me in the comments of what kind of route you think I should try to take over the next year, what you'd like to see, what you'd like to have me share with you. I have a ton of ideas for places to go and content to create, but I'd like to hear from you what you want to see because it's not all about me in this community. So I think we're going to leave it here for now. Thank you so much for being here. I am sorry if you're disappointed. I am a little bit disappointed too, but I do feel good that I made a decision, and genuinely, I feel like I've made the right decision. So I hope you can respect that, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.